Welcome to MojoPlays. Today, we're looking at the best romances in Assassin's Creed games. There's always time for love in these historical epics.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at both the canon love interest of the Assassins, as well as the optional romances in the more recent titles. Elise de la Sela, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh, you were a worse one.
One of the biggest criticisms levied at Unity, beyond its technical issues, was that Arno's love interest Elise was a far more interesting character than the main man himself. Arno and Elise fell in love when they were only children, and carried that fire throughout their lives even when the world turned their story into Romeo and Juliet. Elise is the daughter of a Templar Grandmaster, while Arno comes from a long lineage of assassins. But both were interested in maintaining the shaky peace the two organizations had in France, as well as helping ordinary people through the turbulence of the French Revolution. And just like Romeo and Juliet, these star-crossed lovers have a tragic end. Tarban, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I care for you, Eivor. Since we burned my name in the ledger that day, my thoughts have drifted back to you daily.
Once you decide to invest in some more home comforts of Ravensthorpe, you'll be able to build a bakery manned by a friendly Dane named Tarban. An ex-bandit with a heart of gold, he forsook his violent ways to settle down and learn the art of baked goods. And who doesn't love a man who can cook? You'll help him gather the ingredients necessary to get his bakery up and running, while he learns as much as he can about Eivor and whether their violent ways are necessary to keep Ravensthorpe safe, which of course they are. If you wish, you can choose to let this romance blossom. Oxysia, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
This is the Misthios who's going to reignite our spark, my love.
Now, Oxysia isn't the most romantic character in the game, but she knows what she wants: to send you on one of Odyssey's most hilarious side quests. The problem is that Oxysia has certain needs, but her husband is too old and exhausted to fulfill them. So she wants the Eagle Bearer's help to concoct a potion to restore his libido and give him back the vigor he had in his youth. Of course, a potion made of, among other things, the tongue of a deer isn't going to restore anyone's vitality. This means that the young and capable Misthios can step in to ensure Oxysia gets everything her heart desires, and to give her husband Koragos a well-deserved break.
Thank you, Misthios. Here, take this as payment. You've more than earned it.
Petra, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I will join you now.
Good. A pack of wolves is a foolish thing to underestimate. Let's go.
Another romance that requires an upgrade to Ravensthorpe's facilities. Petra arrives when you build the Hunter's Hut. Between her and her brother Wallace, they keep the town well stocked with leather and food. When Wallace disappears, Petra asks for Eivor's help finding him, and a long quest that results in both of them accidentally consuming hallucinogenic mushrooms begins. It's one of the game's most absurd quests, featuring Eivor talking to a giant white stag, but it's definitely a profound bonding experience. Petra has become a fan favorite because she sees Eivor for who they are right away, and because she doesn't have as many strings attached as some of Valhalla's other romance options. Lycaon, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
You must be a physician.
Yes, I'm Lycaon. You must be a Misthios. Are you here for treatment?
That depends.
He's one of the earliest potential romances you'll encounter in the game, but that doesn't stop him from being the most memorable male suitor in all of Greece. Lycaon's big draw is that he's a doctor with an endless supply of empathy, who always wants to do what's best for everybody around him. When you first meet him, he's helping a child deal with some pain they've been experiencing, and if that scene doesn't win you over, we don't know what will. Lycalon's quest involves a difficult moral dilemma wherein he wants you to help him end the life of his own grandmother to atone for crimes she committed in the past. If you refuse and help him see that this isn't going to help anybody, he realizes that the Misthios is right and asks them to stay with him.
I've killed enough people to know that violence has no end. Better to move on and make the best of the lives the gods have given you.
Move on.
Aya, Assassin's Creed Origins.
It was Eudoros. He died flailing in the baths.
I wish I had been there.
Bayek spends most of the game's opening alone, and it isn't until he gets to Alexandria that he reunites with his wife Aya, an equally capable warrior who's been aiding Cleopatra while Bayek hunts down the killers of their son Kimyu. For most of Origins, these two can't keep their hands off each other despite the tragedy they've gone through. They have plenty of intimate moments you don't normally get to see in an Assassin's Creed romance, like Aya carefully shaving Bayek's head and beard upon his return. It's all about the little things. In the end, circumstances drive them apart, but this just shows that a relationship doesn't have to last forever to be worthwhile.
For your life is short and time will claim its toll. But I am no longer who I was. I have renounced all love I once had.
Caterina Sforza, Assassin's Creed 2, and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Pleasure to welcome you.
I look forward to enjoying your hospitality.
Ezio's a ladies' man, through and through, and Caterina Sforza is one of the many women who find themselves in his bed. She's also one of the most memorable, though, a noble woman who helps Ezio and the assassins in their long fight against the corrupt Borgias. Though their tryst is more of a casual nature, this doesn't mean the players don't enjoy their dynamic, or seeing Ezio put all his charisma and charm to good use. Ezio also travels all the way to Rome to free Caterina when she's briefly taken prisoner by the Borgias, though it's clear she never really was a damsel in distress.
I wish you would stay.
You are the leader of the assassins now. Unite them, Ezio Auditore, and take back Roma.
Randvi, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I have all I need right here. With you. With our people.
It's true what they say. Forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest. That's why Randvi is such a popular romance option in Valhalla, despite her big shortcoming, namely that she's your adoptive brother's wife. Randvi and Sigurd married back in Norway to bring an alliance between two Viking clans, but ever since, Sigurd has been away traveling. Even upon arrival in England, Sigurd is still absent, which is why Randvi herself begins to pursue Eivor. You know, the one who's actually there and helping people. Romancing Randvi isn't without consequences, of course, including adding to the deepening rift between Eivor and Sigurd. But that's a price a lot of players were more than willing to pay. Alternatively, you can do the right thing and wait until the very end of the game to tell Randvi how you feel.
Really? I find she speaks beautifully. With poetry, even.
Are you kidding?
Am I?
Sofia Sartor, Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Who are you, Messere?
Only the most interesting man in your life.
Ah, che presuntuoso.
A presto, Sofia. I will return in a moment.
By the time we get to Revelations, Ezio's an old man, no longer interested in the casual affairs of his younger days. Upon arrival in Constantinople, Ezio meets Sofia Sartor, the owner of a small bookshop who spent much of her life in Venice. It also so happens that this bookshop hides the entrance to an assassin's tomb, and she's able to help Ezio in his search for Altair's final resting place. They have chemistry from the get-go, and Sofia becomes the woman Ezio finally decides to settle down with after so many years. They have children and stay together for the rest of Ezio's life, long after the game ends.
You did the right thing, Ezio. This is not your fight.
But where does one end and the next begin?
Kira, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
This is why I'm here. It's your symbol, right?
You're the Misthios who bears the eagle of Zeus. My apologies. These are dangerous times for anyone waging war against the Athenian Empire and the Delian League. I am Kira.
You may not think that throwing a knife at somebody's head while drunk marks the beginnings of a beautiful friendship, but you'd be wrong. That's how the Misthios and Kira, leader of a small revolution, ultimately meet, after Kira requests help in her struggle against the cult of Cosmos. But this romance is far more complicated. Kira is already involved with Theletas, a Spartan warrior, and wouldn't you know it, you can romance him too. It's not really a story with an overall happy ending, not unless you decide to do the honorable thing and leave them to it, but where would the fun be in that? Kira is beloved by fans for her passion for the Resistance and standing up for what's right in Mechanos.
Thanks for being with me back there. I needed you.
I wanted to be. You know that.
Do you agree with our picks? Don't forget to stick around and check out our other videos on MojoPlays.